Friends, if you're looking for real old school laughs, you're in for a treat because we've got them right here. Flip City Magazine. Remember Mad Magazine? Then it went woke? Well, don't worry. Flip City has no chance of going woke. That's right. 4 times a year, you'll get an actual printed magazine full of jokes, stories, comics, and more, all about today's pop culture, entertainment, and woke politics. Flip City takes terrible entertainment trends we love to hate with hilarious parodies of Lord of the Rings, Stranger Things, The Walking Dead, Star Trek, Hunters, and more. Trust me when I say there is nothing else like Flip City on the market. So subscribe today. It will be delivered in print, or you can even get it digitally if you're one of those wacky Zoomers. Either way, follow our link and sign up today, and if you put in midnight, you get an extra 10% off. Check out Flip City Magazine today.
I'm just gonna do something here.
Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the show. It is the shit list. Welcome, everybody. We are here. We're here to count down our top 5 favorite straight-to-video / DVD movies. It's an interesting pick of films. We have Scribelight with us. How you doing?
Doing all right. Having a nice, relaxing Sunday before having to go back to the grind of the work week.
Did you enjoy going back in time like Marty McFly?
Oh, man. When I woke up this morning and I looked at the clock and I was like, uh-oh, I'm an hour late for the... Oh, wait, no. And then that little, relief washes over you and you're kind of like, ah.
I think it's ironic or weird or whatever word you want to insert there that how often is the daylight savings time going to happen on November 5th? When's the next time it'll happen? I mean, it can't happen for years probably.
What, 30 years or something? I don't know.
Yeah, because this is the day that Doc Brown invented time travel.
That's right. That's right. Also the gunpowder.
And he set off fireworks to celebrate.
That's right. Well, we all went back in time this morning, just like Doc Brown and Marty.
Oh,
so time
I didn't realize that was a straight to DVD film.
It isn't, but I thought November 5th was relevant in that respect. Right. We also have with us Brian, aka that 70s rock fan. How you doing?
I'm doing well, mate, and I really wish they would stop this mucking about with the clocks. You know, it's ridiculous.
They're working on it.
I enjoy getting that hour back, but it's like you stole it from me in the first goddamn place.
Exactly.
What the fuck?
It's messing with my circadian rhythm.
Yeah, I'd rather just...
At my age, that circadian rhythm is pretty quiet.
I'd rather just say to hell with that. Speaking of just saying to hell with that, our producer extraordinaire, Mr. Toxic Manfred. How you doing, sir? Welcome to the show.
Well, to hell with that is what I'm going to say. That's right.
Yeah. Sometimes you do. Sometimes you do.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I don't. Oh, it was a good day. Good day.
We also have
today at the house. So good stuff.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. Good.
That's good. That's always good. We also have Brahmable joining us before too long, and which is great because this episode has been brought to you by Brahma's Milk. It goes down as smooth as silk. That's right, you won't gag on Brahma's Milk. Made from real bull's balls.
That's right.
I've often thought with that jingle you made there, Tom, that your enthusiasm wanes towards the end of the of the singing.
It's almost
part.
like when you read what it really is, you're just like, wait, what?
That's right. That's what it is then. Okay. Yeah.
It's like I'm getting paid for this. What?
It's kind of catchy.
Paid.
Yeah, paid.
Paid? What is that? What is
Mama's
paid?
milk. Made
Well,
real
it's
bull
kind of like
balls.
Brahma. It's exciting at the beginning, but the more you get it just kind of, it's just a mess.
wanes.
It's just kind of a mess.
Christian Delorme's in the house. Christian Delorme's Vinyl Revival. Are you starting a channel there, Christian Delorme?
He has started a channel.
He has. Oh,
Yes. And we had a couple of. He's had a couple of live streams already. Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
You
So
want to
he's gonna do
debate me
music.
on the vinyl thing? Like I got into it with Yellow Flash on Twitter the other day.
Isn't it ironic? I think there's a band, I can't remember who it was, a metal band that just released an album with a song in it called Just Stop Oil, and they're promoting the vinyl-ish version of that.
The irony there.
I can't remember which band it was, but yeah, the irony abounds.
Speaking of irony, we just finished his ad, but here he is, friends. The Bald, the Beautiful, Brahma Bull.
Yeah, that was the first time my wife has actually heard it, and she just
Really?
shook her head.
Did she really?
She never watches any of our shows, but
I should have played the spicy one.
Yeah, I was trying to get set up, so I had it on the TV, listening to you guys get started. And yeah,
It's funny how they don't like our stuff, isn't it, Brahma?
oh yeah.
Anyway, Christian
That's why
says,
it's our release.
hey, folks, I saw Brian, and here I am. So thank you, Christian, for hopping in here. I'll have to check out your channel. I'm interested in vinyl, even though I may say digital is the superior. Hey, we got Snowdub in the house, too, as well. How you doing, Snowdub? We got Penny here. Bill Barkley's here. We have Nicholas Horton here, who says Ass Blasters, a.k.a. Rocket Butts. Well, what is he referring to? Well, he's referring to Tremors, of course, which could show up on somebody's list. You never know. Well, not the first film, of course, because that's what tonight's show's all about. Those little nuggets that get plopped right onto video or streaming or DVD, what have you. And you know what? We go, that is a lot better than it should be, considering it got disregarded for theatrical release. Isn't that right, guys?
Yeah, be careful popping your little nuggets on anything.
Yes, you don't want to pop your nuggets on too many things. You could get in trouble.
No,
Brahma
what
knows
happened
all
to
about
Brahma
that.
tonight? He popped this thing
Exactly.
a little early, and now he's going to have to explain the whole Bulls Milk thing to his family.
The whole
Pretty
thing is.
sad.
Should I just play the other one just to be a jerk?
Oh, she's
No,
Still
gone.
listening?
Yeah.
She's
Oh, okay,
gone.
never mind.
She ran
Never
away.
mind.
Didn't you hear a suitcase getting packed in the door?
Oh, she's like, after that shit, I'm down. You can milk your balls somewhere else, boy.
She finished
We can
smoking,
do
rolled
it.
her eyes, and walked out.
It's the
We can do
Boondock
a
Balls.
20-minute documentary of a tour of the Bulls Milk factory.
Oh, yeah.
Put it on video, VHS, and then send it to Brahma.
Send it to the internet.
Because they don't
We
have
got
a VHS. So see how that works.
we got Mr. Cage here. I seen 6 in the house. She didn't join us on the list. She could just hop in and like MST3K our choices if she
You could
wanted to.
extemporize.
That was the
Great.
option I was trying to take.
Six could come on and make fun of us.
She can. I give her full permission.
That would be hilarious.
It wouldn't be difficult.
I have
No.
to say that there's a reason a lot of these movies go straight to DVD, but
Yes.
I had to rack my brains to think of 5 good ones, and some of the
You're
ones I would have
racking your
picked, like
nuts.
Death Wish 5, it actually did have a theatrical release.
That's the-
albeit small one.
Yeah. That
That's
was the tough part.
tough part, and especially
Yeah.
having you being part of the panel, Brahma, having lived several different places all over the world. That was another thing I kind of was hoping wouldn't be a problem. Is there's a lot of films that were released
Yeah,
here
right.
straight to video that got theatrical release in places like the UK and other regions, or vice versa, right? And
Yeah.
that was one that shows up on my list. It got released theatrically all over the rest of the world. Actually made $30 million throughout the rest of the world. Not a bad haul.
Mm.
And it didn't manage to get a release here.
But
So if it had like a minimal release, like I'll let it slide. That was the rule, because I think I brought that up to you, Tox. But I think that you were the only one who kind of had one kind of
Oh.
like that.
I would have had
Brian
Goon
and I
2
actually
on
had a
that
tight
then.
one.
What was that? Dune 2?
Goon 2.
Oh,
The last of
Goon
the
2.
Enforcers. I think it got a Canada release for
It
like a
did.
weekend.
Oh
or
yeah,
two.
see, I would have counted that. That would have been
Yes.
okay as long as it didn't
I
get one or
wanted
the
that.
other.
I
So we
wanted
could have
that, but I
juggled it a
couldn't
little
count
bit.
it. I couldn't count Death Wish 5, which I wanted to. Death Wish 5. So,
I
but
think
yeah,
Free Willy 3 was straight to video just about everywhere, Christian. Sorry, go ahead, Brian. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, that's all right. I was just saying there was a few choices I really had to leave out because of somewhere they were released, even if it was a wet Wednesday afternoon in Madison, Wisconsin. They were in a cinema at least for one night. And
Well, if you would have talked to me, and this is where I said just before, like earlier today, we're like talking to Talks about it. I was like, yeah, if it got like a very limited release, I guess I would accept that because its wide release was clearly on video.
Oh,
I mean, if
well.
it
No,
didn't get like
one of my
wide
choices
theatrical
had
release.
one release in like brief release in Germany, and everywhere else in the world is direct to video. So I thought that counted
Yeah.
as far as I
There's
was.
Well,
a
and even
bunch of-
some of these movies get shown at like festivals and stuff when they get picked up and whatnot. But anyway,
Right.
go ahead,
a
Brian.
bunch of canon films would have been could have
Exactly.
Been considered. Could have
Well,
been
my
considered.
problem was there was stuff I wanted on my list, so I have a feeling we'll have some honorable mentions when we're done. But we might as well just get into the list. We got over 450 people watching. Share out that link. Let everybody know we're live. I want to thank Valiant and anybody else who sent anybody over this way. Thank you so much. But let's get into our shit list here, guys. We got our top 5, and I gotta say, Tox is a great.
I saw that one, and I'm like, yep, this is it. I'm doing it.
I like it. I like it a lot, as they say. So, all right, let's break into this. Our top 5 straight to video DVD/movies. All right. Well, jumping ahead here too far.
Oh,
Brian.
well, I'm going first. Oh
bumped it.
shit!
Yes, you're first.
Hold
Stargate
on.
Continuum.
Continuum.
The two nudes strangely look like boobs.
Trying to find clips for this was great when everything kept trying to correct it as Continuum.
Right.
I am a big science fiction guy, and I did love Stargate, all iterations of it. I thought about the Arc of Truth, but it sounds too much like a South Park movie. So I picked Continuum, the second of the standalone movies. Now, I might have seen somewhere that it did get a box office release, as we were saying, in some places. Pretty sure it didn't in North America, but I'm sure someone will correct me on that. And then again, maybe these were never intended, these Stargate movies, for cinematic release. Given that
yeah, I don't know. Were they still on Showtime when this one came out, or was this after that?
well, I don't know if it was. I think it's a Fox property.
MGM actually, but I think
MGM
Fox released the
production
video.
distributed by Fox. Yeah. Sorry, you're right. MGM. I mean, this show was over. I think I'm right in saying SG1.
I saw this came out in 2008.
And so it carries on from Arc of Truth, and then keeps the some of the plot lines going throughout the entire run of the show. I just love these guys, love these characters, and I love the lore that they created in the show. Really, from pretty thin material, given the original movie, the Spader Russell movie, wasn't that much to that movie. I still love it, but so they really did a great job in creating an awful lot of lore and backstory. Richard D. Anderson's great. You know, this is a man who will never finish a sentence with a preposition. That's a Stargate joke. I'll be probably the only one that gets it. Yeah, and the cast, you know, Michael Shanks, Christopher Judge, Amanda Tapping, love them all. I liked the plot line in this because it's an alternate timeline. Before alternate timelines were as prevalent as they are now, I just thought they did a really great job. And what was probably a pretty low budget, I mean, a few millions, I would have thought. TV budget, probably. Hell, they would spend that in the budget for this would pay for 10 minutes of Ashoka now. But yeah, and it's
Catering, not even the catering, sir.
Yeah, not indicating. And of course, it's very relevant now because it's partly to do with. No, I don't know. Anyway, no, there's no politics in it. Maybe a little bit.
Oh,
anyway,
here's a nugget. Here's a nugget from Nicholas Horton. I guess this was meant to be
the
premiere episode of season 11.
Yeah,
the show hadn't been
and
canceled.
they were meant to follow it up with another one, which I don't think ever got made. Anyway, I like it. I love the whole Stargate thing, so I thought it'd be nice to represent a bit of Stargate in one of these lists.
Well, General Sod says, so does A Field in England count? It was released in cinemas and broadcast on terrestrial TV on the same day in the UK. Love that weird trippy film. No, actually, that was one stipulation I didn't change with the wind, as Six put it in the chat, was that I said it cannot be a made-for-TV film. So I think this would constitute a made-for-TV film. Plus, it was released in theaters, which would automatically make it not count. So there you go. If it got wide
except
release or
for-
was directly made for like ABC, NBC, something like that, I wouldn't count it because that's not the same as straight to video. Now, cable
HBO
deals
still
are a little
counted, right?
different.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, because
Yes,
because I was
cable
like, I was
deals
always
are-
like, I'll go, and I'm in trouble. Then, 'cause I
Stargate
thought,
kind of falls in that region, right? Like they actually had a lot of those on Showtime where they would, in Cinemax, where they would go straight to Cinemax, Showtime, and video at the same time.
Right.
It was like Stargate. You had Universal Soldier and a couple other sequels that come out and did the same kind of thing. So yeah, those I allowed past it, but yeah, I don't think. Sadly, that would count, General Sod. But good question, and those are the questions that we ask in the chat
Indeed.
group.
Probing.
No more Tom knows. I will never get tired of that.
I do like that version best.
It is the best version. Thank you, Sean Estep. All right,
That's the
moving on.
version that scares me the most.
And unless anybody else had anything else to say about Stargate, because
Never
evidently
saw
it
this
didn't.
one.
I don't think it's on anybody else's list, was it?
Indeed.
No, we only had a couple of
Crossovers.
Repeats.
crossovers, and oddly enough, they were both with me in 70s.
Well, is that why
Oh,
you were
wow.
giving me the angry face?
Yeah. In fact, our number one is shared, and I don't think either one of us know that it had a limited theatrical release.
Very limited. I checked.
Very,
it was enough,
very limited.
it was
Yeah,
enough to where I let it pass. That's why you asked.
I cheated. Yeah, I cheated.
I cheated on that one, but you know what? I'm like, it's a good enough film for it. Tom,
You guys will have to wait and find out what it is.
We'll
I
get
know, it's
there.
a good film. It really is.
I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it because believe it or not, I have not seen it yet. I do own it though, I believe. I just haven't got a chance to ever watch it.
It's a watch.
I've heard.
Just
All
say,
right.
after seeing it, I was able to understand 70s more.
Well, everybody said just because of the type of films I like, I should like it. And I'm like, yeah, I might. But yeah, while we're moving on here, when we get to the end of our number fives here, guys, there's a poll in the chat. Do vote on it, and we'll cover that right in between 5 and when we hit number 4. So next up is Brahmable, and you picked some weird ones, Brahma. You picked what seemed like a little bit newer stuff.
Yeah, it's
So
all
you went a
new
little bit
stuff,
more
and
of the
it's all
straight to
stuff.
streaming kind of stuff. But yeah, what's
Yeah.
Avengement? You have to tell us what this is.
Avengement is a Scott Adkins movie where he's basically in prison. He gets completely ripped and on a furlough where they take him out to do like a workout on the streets or something. He sneaks away from the guards, and then he goes back to his old neighborhood and he beats the living crap out of everybody that basically got him put in jail. So it's just a revenge movie. The bar fight scene in it is probably one of the best hand-to-hand choreographed fights that we've seen outside of like the Kingsman. Yeah, it's actually fantastic. It came out in 2019, I think, straight to stream. So I think it may have been Netflix. Can't remember. But definitely worth seeing. Scott Adkins is great in it. There were some of the performances that he's put in the last few years that people have actually said he would actually probably make a great Bond, like an actual tough guy Bond. So definitely go check it out. Very good movie. Very, very violent.
Gotta
Interesting.
love violence. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I always like revenge movies like that.
Yeah, like Payback with Mel Gibson, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Mel Gibson.
This is more ultra violent than that, but it's not like
Little
gory
bit of the
violence.
ultra
It's
violence.
just beating the living crap out of multiple people.
What was
So-
that one with Halle Berry? Double Jeopardy, right? Where she
Not Halle Bailey, but
No.
no, the Double Jeopardy or something. But Halle Berry had one
Swordfish.
where she
She
was
shows double jeopardy in that. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, she did.
no, where she was supposedly beat up or something from her boyfriend. Where she trained to kill him and did. And they
I don't know if that
couldn't-
was. I think that was Jennifer Lopez. Actually,
was that Lopez? Jennifer Lopez.
Wait,
Yeah.
double Jeopardy with like Morgan Freeman?
No. He's thinking of the one with Jennifer Lopez. where she gets like she has like an ex who assaults her or whatever, and then she gets all like buff and learns
Right. Learns all
Oh,
this stuff
jujitsu
okay.
shit and all that stuff, and goes kicks his
from
ass.
division. She learned.
It's got like a single name too, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
entrapment. or
Enough.
something
I think you're right,
Enough.
Christian.
Yeah, enough. That's what it was. Yes, Christian.
It was like basically it was almost like a female version of Death Wish in a weird way, or not Death Wish. Which one I'm thinking of? But I remember when it came out, like, yeah, it was like,
Yeah,
okay,
it was a good one.
that was all right. All right. Anybody
Oh, I like
else
the
seen
original stuff.
Avengement? Doesn't sound like it, so there's one for you guys to check
No,
out.
but I might see
Worth
it.
it. Go check it out. Scott Adkins was also in John Wick 4. He was the what was he? The dealer. He had the fat suit on
Oh wow,
at the
I
poker game.
remember.
these are a
Oh,
suit I can
yeah.
take off.
Right? I
I
wish.
didn't know that.
Number
Damn it.
5, Redneck Zombies on Toxic Man Flu's list. This is
Yes,
another
so
one I
there-
haven't seen.
There are 3 reasons why I have this as number 5 on my list. Number 1, 1987 was a good year. It was the year Mrs. Flew and I got together. It was the year I graduated high school. Second reason, this is widely considered to be the first film shot entirely for a video release. Their VHS and beta was just starting to get big at this time, right? So, but Redneck Zombies is like, okay, we're going to go straight to video with this. It was in the 1980s edition of Trivial Pursuit. I actually had it as a question in one of those games a long time ago. And
Was it shot on video too, or
it was not shot entirely on videotape and then released to home video market, making it the first straight to video film. So it was shot on videotape, sent straight out. So and I you know, that kind of started the revolution of being able to use VHS, and the quality and stuff started getting better. And the stuff that my dad did from that time has a lot of ghosting and things on it. You needed to get that stuff over. I'm sorry, Zachary. My son was born in 98 or 88. But the quality stuff just wasn't great back then for that. It was okay, but it didn't last long. But the tagline of the film is they're tobacco chewing, gut chomping, cannibal kinfolk from hell. And I thought that was pretty good. And believe it or not, the director, Pierceless Lewins or Lonis or whatever, frick, he ended up, no, that was the special effects guy. He was the special effects guy, did a lot of stuff for Trauma Productions, which had done a lot of other straight to video films. But William Benson went on to win Emmys for directing things for NASA, the space shuttle and things and stuff like that. So there you are, Redneck Zombies. Research stuff they did. I remember seeing this film when it came out at a party, and everything else came from that.
Talks, don't you think that would have made a good sequel? Redneck Zombies in Space?
I think it would have been great.
Send
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Send them back
them back.
to the meteor they came from. But yeah, I love the tagline and all that stuff from there. So there you go. That's what is considered to be by some shot entirely on videotape, released to home video, making it the first straight to video film.
Nice.
Awesome. All right. Well, we have the poll in the chat. Just finished it up. Best Tremors sequel. Well, no surprise. Tremors 2 won with 79% of the vote. Tremors 3 come in second place with 11%. Tremors 5 with 5%. And Tremors 4 with 3%. I'm surprised Tremors 4 didn't do better. Because that's what the prequel one. But people like that one more. But I guess you guys have spoken. Now I got to come up with another poll. All right. So, moving on with our polls.
Mhm.
Sorry, what?
Number 4. I know my number 5. We forgot mine.
Yeah.
And we got another Scribe. I was way ahead of myself. Scribe,
Yes.
the Andy Sedaris filmography. What in the hell is that?
Okay, so I couldn't pick just one. For those of you that don't know, Andy Sedaris was the low budget film producer from the 80s and the 90s who produced a series of low budget girls in bikinis with machine movies. And he would hire Playboy Playmates and Penthouse Pets, Julie Strain and who else am I thinking of? Wendy Hamilton, things like that. And I just couldn't pick just one. So there's a collection of these. It's called Girls, Guns, and G-Strings. You can buy it for like $10 off of Amazon or something.
I bet Quentin Tarantino loves those.
Oh man, they're great. They're great. I mean, as a red-blooded growing boy of teenage years, watching bad action movies with ladies in bikinis running around or otherwise undressed, shooting people and having crimes and things and adventures was great. And so I actually have my collection here. One second, let me get it here so I can read you some of these great titles. All right, so here's some titles to look out for at your local video store, except they don't exist anymore. You have The Dallas Connection, Hard Hunted, Hard Ticket to Hawaii, Malibu Express, Picasso Trigger, Savage Beach, and just Guns. I think
Chicks
Guns was
with
probably my
Guns.
favorite. Yeah, Chicks with Guns. So yeah, it's a bit of tongue in cheek, literally or figuratively. But yeah, as far as direct-to-video stuff, that was sentimental favorite.
Hard Ticket to Hawaii is one of Mad's favorites. We've actually done that on his channel a couple times.
You had me at bikini. You
Oh, yeah, it's great.
You sold it within the first sentence.
Oh, they're great. Yeah. So if
You
you
had me
just
at
want
Guns.
yeah, if you total cheese fest, but and yeah, most except for me, the last two on my list are sort of like sentimental favorites. I don't know if they're the best direct-to-video movies I've ever seen, say for my last two, but we'll get to them as we go. So that's my first selection.
Nice.
I don't think they
like
had any theatrical releases. I'm pretty sure they didn't, but I mean, I'm sure
From the
one or two
sampling I've
them
seen
have.
of them, it would surprise me if they did.
Yeah,
That would-
exactly.
I mean, but Neil Breen, he had a,
Right.
a
Oh, man.
release for this latest film in theaters, but it's more just for the hardcores. It's not like anything anybody goes to see unless you're just a Neil Breen fanatic.
Mhm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think now we're on mine. Curse of Chucky.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this was a bit of a surprise. First of all, I was a bit put off by a Chucky movie going straight to video. But it turned out to be much better than I anticipated, and I think a lot of people were kind of surprised by how good it was. It kind of took all of what Chucky had been to this point and mixed it all up in one film for the most part, brought it back a little bit more scary again. Interesting story. Calls back to some things from the past, and yeah, I think it kind of added to the mythos a little bit. Fairly well done for a straight to video feature. I don't know if anybody else here's seen it, but yeah.
Saw it once a long time ago.
Long time ago.
I saw Bride of Chucky in the theater, and then when I saw Curse of Chucky came out, I think I rented it, and that's when it came out.
All right.
No, I had not seen that one
I don't
anytime
recall
recently.
seeing it, no.
Was Seed of Chucky after that, right?
No, it was before that.
Was that before that? Okay, I got that off. My-
Seed was technically the last theatrical release.
Right, okay.
Although that one got very limited release, but I think it was only
Yeah.
like 500 screens or something like that when it first premiered, but
Didn't last long.
yeah. But all right, so moving on to the number 4 picks. Back to the top, we've got Brian with Universal Soldier Regeneration.
Oh, there you go.
There's, and again, I think there was a limited Middle Eastern release in cinemas, but hey, what the hell?
Well, this
Released
movie
in
has
Northern
these
Afghanistan.
movies, plural, have such a weird.
Well, this is
I
the-
realized talking about these not too long ago. Not only is there like two divergent timelines, they end up converging at some point. or
This
some
is
shit
the
like
true
that.
sequel to the first
Yeah.
movie. This is the true sequel. It ignores, I think, if I recall rightly, all the others that came in between. And it's a pretty damn good action movie. You know, it's gritty, it's hard. There's a ton of great action. I mean, it's pretty much all action. You know, JCVD and Dolphin. I think it's Andrei Arlovsky, the fighter, MMA fighter. They all kick ass. Directed by John Hyams, Peter's son, and Peter Hyams did the cinematography. What more can you ask? Hell, it's even got a Stargate connection. Dean Devlin was involved with the original, of course. So, great in the characters. So, yeah, I mean, what can you? It's not a lot more to say about it other than that it's kick-ass science fiction action, which I think if it had come as a direct sequel to the first one, it probably would get a little bit more love, I think. So
I'm gonna say, I think the only one I ever saw was The Return or whatever, the one,
yeah,
first sequel.
and it's gritty and action packed. So what can I say? It's the true sequel, and I think if you watched first the original and then this, you're going to get two great kick-ass movies in a row there. So yeah, love it.
Yeah. And to answer Bill's question, Mark Hamill did the voice of "quote unquote" Chucky in the remake.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look at 6 just wrenching away. That was amazing. Just
And making fun of us.
and making fun of us at the same time. So she's
Very well.
multitasking.
What a fine wrench. What? Oh, never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, don't
Make
say
sure that
that
came out
wrong.
right.
Ah!
Hey,
All right.
Isn't that a song? He's a fine
think so.
range.
I think so.
General Sod says the hit list. What a happy coincidence, the title wise. Well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like she said, someone has to. All right. Well, moving on here. Number 4 on Barama's list is Snowpiercer. This is a bit more popular one.
Mine's
That's
going to
cool.
have some controversial stuff in it because I had to basically make my list 40 minutes before the show. Snowpiercer did actually come out on DVD and Blu-ray and parts of the world before it actually did end up getting a theatrical release. Test screenings, they wanted to cut out a whole bunch of the film because it just wasn't playing. So they kept delaying and delaying and delaying, but you could easily argue that it's not a straight to DVD. But it shows
Yeah, I
up
wasn't
on
sure on
many
this one,
lists
but-
that are straight to DVD.
Especially with
God-
the cast overall. I mean,
God damn it! I can't believe you beat me to putting a Korean movie in this list.
Yeah.
You bastard!
Well, the next one's probably going to be troublesome too, because
What's the equivalent
now
of
that
a
I'm
weeb
able to research a little bit,
or Korean shit?
right?
Well,
I
better
think
than
it would be
Cantonese.
70s rock fan.
So are we going to spend 20 minutes talking about how this is a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory?
No, I think
To
they
Willy
already
Wonka.
broke it up.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
No.
I saw the video on it. It's a very compelling argument, very compelling in a way. Yeah.
There's only one internet like rumor, whatever, conspiracy. That's the word I was looking for. Conspiracy that I believe,
Mm.
because I think I half-ass created it, and
Okay.
that is the kid that Powell killed in Die Hard was actually Steve Urkel, and that's why he had to move and change his name.
Yeah. There you go.
He had
That's
just
funny.
had enough. And,
Well, I think most people have seen this movie because I mean, it
yeah,
was
no, this is
a
a
pretty
pretty
big movie.
Yeah.
Not sure
I
about
like
the
it
series
a lot better
though.
than the series.
Yeah, with the TV series, it looked like I don't know how you can stretch out that theme into a series without
Make the
losing,
train
losing
longer.
steam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one. There we go.
Add more
Losing
cars.
Stretch it
steam.
out.
I like that.
Yeah,
Losing steam.
that's right.
Although it's funny,
Yeah.
I mean, it was Korean. It's really a Korean production, but it's a French. I think it was a
Why
French
does the
novel.
train have to keep moving again?
Yeah.
To keep warm.
Well, it's got to get to
because,
Busan.
Yeah. Oh, that's yeah. That's
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I think it's because if it stops, it just freezes solid.
yeah.
Well, let's see. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, if we are in an ice age that big that everything freezes over like that, none of those rails would be passable. You'd be under
Don't think too deep.
minimum 500
No,
foot of ice.
stop thinking deeply about it. Stop it.
That's why the train's called a Snowpiercer.
Right. Well, I mean, if you got a movie that's going to tell me that everybody's eating their own poop, okay, you go to that level, then explain to me how the rails actually stay.
Magic metal.
Got it. Okay.
Well, in Soylent Green, they were eating themselves, never mind their own.
Yeah, that too.
That's true.
It's even worse.
Well, I mean, they were eating themselves personally.
Well, eating each other.
I'm not giving. Yeah.
Each other.
If you've got spoilers on any of these movies that we're calling up from the 80s and stuff at this point, get out of the house.
Indeed.
Just telling.
All
Oh,
right. Moving on here, we've got Toxie's number 4, Beverly Hills Vamp.
So this is probably one of the worst films anyone would have picked on this list. IMDb 4 out of 10. You look at some of the other things, maybe 3 out of 10, stuff like that. It is a really crappy film. All right, but it does star Eddie Deasons from Revenge of the Nerds, so that's why we got it.
Oh, I got him as a friend on Facebook.
Yeah, and it was a fairly funny film at the time. One of those films that in 1990, when we rented and saw it, it was funny. And 20 years later, I go, how the hell did I sit through this film? You know, it was 88 minutes. It was under 90. It was something that you did to, plow away the days in college, stuff from there. So it's got Britt Eklund in it, in there. So it's right in. It's pretty good. And one of my favorite comedians of all time, Tim Conway, it did have his son, Tim Conway Jr. in it, from there. So this is, not something that you would think would be one of those, rise to the top, but it was memorable in that it just was funny at the time. And going back now, I don't recommend you watch this film. Okay.
Was Eddie Deason actually in Revenge of the Nerds? I thought he was like one of the only nerds who wasn't in that movie. I know he was in Grease
it was the guy.
And a bunch of other shit.
Yeah, it was the dude.
Because the main nerd,
Harry Deason.
Yeah, no, I know he's in Beverly Hills Vamp, but I'm trying to remember, was he actually in Revenge of the Nerds, though?
I think so.
I think you're thinking of Carradine.
I'm probably thinking of Carradine.
They look alike.
They look very almost alike. Oh,
but
this
Deason
is the
was
guy
definitely
from,
in like Grease and 41 and
this is a guy from Porky's 2 that says it's 9 3/4. I'm not including the balls. It's 9 3/4. Oh, I got 9.5. I know what I have. That scene, yeah, that's him.
Is he in that one?
Yeah,
trying to remember.
Maybe it's Meatballs. All those things. Listen, in 89, 90, 91. There was somebody on this panel who was doing a shit ton of drugs at that time. So all those movies kind of run together.
Yeah. All right. Moving on, we've got let's see here. Scribe, who says Rampage. Now clearly this isn't the Rock Rampage movie.
No. This is 2009. Now, full disclosure, apparently this did have a limited release in Germany alone and then went the direct to video out for the rest of the world.
Well, you guys did your homework.
Yeah, I mean, I made sure. I was like, is this, I could have sworn this direct to video. And yeah, 95% of it is direct to video. But either way, you might, given the quality of this film, which is a action drama, I don't know, thriller. Yeah, Uwe Boll directed this, and it's actually pretty good. It's got a good cast.
Okay,
good
so
acting.
this is that. Yeah, okay, I think I know the one you're talking about then, yeah.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, admittedly, and do not go anywhere near the sequels that were made after this. But the first one, it impressed me because of Uwe Boll's reputation. It earned and deserved reputation for the rest of his whatever you want to call it, filmography. But yeah, no, this surprised me when I saw it. And if I hadn't known it was Uwe Boll, I would have guessed it was Uwe Boll that did it. It's got a great cast. Matt Frewer's in it. God, who else? Brendan Fletcher, he's really good. Michael Pare is in it briefly. It's actually a really, really decent movie overall. And so yeah, it's kind of if they took the game Postal, the first one, not Postal 2, which was more of a comedy, but they took Postal and turned it into a theatrical, serious film, unlike the comedy they made out of it. So yeah, if you like action and aren't too squeamish about violence and such, I'd give it a watch.
Anybody else seen it or want to comment on it?
Nope, never seen it.
All right. Moving on then. My number 4 is Tremors 2.
There you go.
Yes, indeed. Tremors 2. I was so surprised that an actual straight-to-video sequel to Tremors without Kevin Bacon in it, or Reba McEntire, would actually be good. But I was mistaken. It was really fucking good.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Now, beyond that, it's debatable. As I said before, I'm surprised more people didn't enjoy part 4 on the list because I thought that was one of the more fan popular ones, but I guess I'm wrong. But I do know this is a fan favorite beyond the first one. So, yeah, kudos to the guys behind the film. But I do know this is a fan. Whoa, the hell was that?
Was
I think
Anybody
that
else
was
hear
me.
that?
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
Tox
me.
tried to talk.
Heard Talk's talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It is weird.
Okay.
It was weird.
All right, go ahead, Tox.
No, I just say Tremors 2, one of those movies I remember seeing on a Friday night, trying to fill some time. We used to watch movies when I was in school with DVDs and stuff while we were working the front desk late hours. So, but yeah, Tremors 2 was good. I thought Tremors 1 was good, but I thought the second one was a little better, even though it was straight to VHS DVD.
You actually like the second one better than the first one. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I'm odd that way. So, I mean, the movies I don't like Jurassic Park, the first one, screw that film. I can't stand it. So.
I understand in a weird way. I do, but I don't. So yeah, anybody else got anything to say about Tremors 2?
I'm sure we'll be talking about it again.
Yes.
Oh, is it on somebody else's list?
Yes.
Uh-oh.
Well,
Oh, it is? Did I miss it?
oh yeah, I guess so.
Uh-oh.
Whose was
Oh,
it
we might
on?
as well talk about it now then. Whose list is it on?
It's on mine.
I was gonna say it had to be
Oh,
Brian's.
wait, I
'cause
thought
he brought
yours
it up.
was just Tremors.
No.
Tremors wasn't straight to video.
Tremors 2. Did I make
You
the
fucked
mistake?
Oh, I know
up.
what it was. You said Tremors 2 Aftershocks. I thought it was a different film.
No.
Mm.
That's the subtitle. Yep.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so
Oh, well,
what number
come on.
was this on your list then?
He was number
Number 2, wasn't it?
Number 2.
It was number 2.
Did you read the book?
I did a number 2.
We made a book.
The book.
Book.
Book. You can fuck off with your book.
You see,
the
what's
folk-
happened is we've made fun of that so much you can't say it now.
I can't. I've got it. It's
Yeah, you're going back. You're saying you're
I've
going.
got mental tick
Oh.
on it now. Every time.
No,
I-
it's got to be Tremors the Bookworm.
Oh, that's right. Oh, there, you got it. All right.
book.
Yeah.
It's a book.
Bookworm.
Anyway, go ahead,
Book.
Brian. Tremors 2.
It's I don't know about better than the first one, although there's a case could be made that it's equally as good. I mean, it's a lot of fun, and I expected. I mean, the first one had no expectations, of course, when it came out, and yet it turned out to be wonderful. And I thought, well, you know what? No, as you say, no Kevin Bacon. Probably going to be just cheap knockoff. It was a lot of fun. It was really, really good. Just a very enjoyable movie, and I don't understand why it didn't get a little bit more. No, why didn't it get a cinematic release? I have no idea, but because it's a good movie. Tom, you might know. But
Sorry, I had to step away. The wind actually blew my
I mean, I
door
don't know
open.
why it didn't get a movie theater release because it's an
It
excellent
was
film.
actually one of those things that Universal, I think it was always meant to be straight to video from the start because the first film bombed in theaters.
Yeah,
and
I
it didn't
guess
become
so,
a hit
yeah.
until it hit video and on television. So this, I think, was always meant from the start to be a straight to video, and it became a very
Yeah.
popular one, arguably probably one of the more successful straight to video franchises. I mean, they're what 7 or 8 movies deep now.
Yeah. And Fred Ward is just all.
Oh yeah, well yeah, Fred Ward kind of carried.
Wonderful.
Well, Fred Ward's great in this one, but then what's his name from carried the series? Trying to think of his name. Family Ties, dude.
The dad from Family Ties.
Michael
Yeah.
Gross.
Michael
That's it.
Gross, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I mean, he
Yeah,
really
Gross.
carried the franchise past that, but yeah. And the Ass Blasters was fun, and I didn't mind the prequels so much, but yeah.
It's a lot of fun. It's got some great excitement and action in it. You know, what's not to like? Way better than the vast majority of straight to. And there's a reason things go straight to VHS DVD in most cases, unless they're deliberately designed to go straight to it. Sometimes it's because they're just crap.
Yeah. All right. Well, our poll in the chat is, who is your favorite Puppet Master puppet? Quickly get your vote in because we're going to close the poll, guys. The poll is about to close. So you better find some votes in Wisconsin or something like that real quick. Otherwise, I think we're done. The poll is ending. We have the votes in. The favorite puppet from Puppet Master series is Blade with a whopping 45%. Pinhead came in second place with 9%. Six Shooter got 22% of the vote. And Poor Tunneler only got 3% of the vote.
Oh,
Poor Tunneler. Now I got to come up with another poll here. But all right, so let's go back to the top of the list. Speaking of polls, it's a top.
Oh, really? Somebody else must have picked the same movie. Okay, yes, you're right. Okay.
Okay, so which one? So this is one that
Oh,
somebody already picked.
this
So you
is-
got to held off. Well,
I'm holding off. I'm holding it.
And my
Holding it.
next pick is disqualified. So
Well, you can
it's
come up with
where-
something in its place.
it's where I had Goon 2 originally.
Okay.
And then when I found out that Goon had a release, I was thinking that this movie got screwed over by the pandemic. But it did get a short release right before the shutdown. So it was like March of
Was it
2020.
under like
This
200
isn't-
some theaters, or how big of a release we
No, I
talking?
think it got a widespread
Okay.
release.
So you have something else instead.
in
You put the
England.
Goon in. You mean?
It wasn't
Goon
just a
2,
Netflix thing.
Last
though?
of the Enforcers. I thought
Okay.
it was just straight to Netflix because of the pandemic, but it does show that it earned $111 million when I
'Cause
went
it's a
back
bloody
to
good movie.
try
I
to
would've-
study it.
good
Yeah,
show.
it was a great Guy Ritchie movie, but yeah, I would replace it with Goon 2. So Last of the Enforcers, which is was it Sean
Is
Williams,
that a
Scott?
hockey film?
Yeah,
Jay
Yeah,
Baruchel
the hockey goon.
and Kurt Russell's kid.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yep, and yeah, he's just I guess in the second movie he goes back and I think they've had a shutdown in the NHL, so he's playing back on like a AAA team or something like that. So yeah, it's just him fighting a whole bunch of people on ice. But he's a very lovable character. Like, he's a very sensitive guy that his whole job is to beat the crap out of people in hockey games. So that would be the replacement before everybody in chat starts screaming about the gentleman.
Speaking of hockey, I'm surprised nobody picked the sequels to
Slapshot 2 and 3.
Slapshot. Yeah,
Slapshot, yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it, but
'cause I know some people did enjoy the second one, but yeah.
I'd have
but
to
all
have
right.
watched them.
Anybody else seen the Goon too?
oh god, yeah.
On ice?
Oh, nice. no, I watched.
Not
No,
on
just-
ice,
I
no.
was sitting on the couch when I watched it. Yeah.
Mm.
Actually,
did have
think I
maybe
think
some
I may have
biscuits,
seen
so.
it in the cinema in Canada. I might have gone to see it in the cinema.
Mhm.
Now that I think about it. Pretty sure I did. Canada, eh?
In
Well,
Canada.
they're two movies that we talk about quite a bit on Bourbon and Boarding. So
Mm.
There you go.
Well, I mean, I just can't remember if I saw it in a movie theater or on a DVD. Cannot remember.
All right. Well, moving on then. Toxie's number 3, Sherlock Holmes.
Yes, Holomums. So this is the 2010 film, not to be confused with Guy Ritchie's 2009
Robert Downey
Sherlock
Jr.,
Holmes with
yeah.
Robert Downey Jr. or the British television series starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Martin Freeman. Okay.
Cumberbatch.
The bad guy in this one was played by Dominic Keating, who was on Enterprise as the armory officer. So I saw his face when I saw this. And this actually went to DVD. And that's why I picked it up. His face is on there. The lead actor is someone, this is the only thing he's really ever done, is this. And there's not, I mean, the guy's name is Ben Snyder. Never really seen him in anything else. And everybody else, pretty much no names. The Asylum is
Right.
the group that did this, right? So we know
I
that
assume
they
so. Yeah.
yeah. Why I like this is it's Sherlock Holmes in London fighting dinosaurs.
No, that's right.
Right. So it's
Wait,
like,
what?
Of course it is.
Yeah,
Sherlock
because
Holmes.
Asylum. Because Asylum.
Yeah.
Oh, it's an asylum movie? That's all you
Yeah.
have.
Yeah, why?
Sorry.
So it's and it's a steampunk mystery film. You know what they were trying to do with it, and all that stuff, and it was just goofy and stupid, and people trying to be serious and all that. But yeah, you saw some actors there just trying to make a buck and trying to be in a film, and it was a lot of fun. So, the dinosaurs aren't real. They end up being a
What?
creation.
What?
Just ruined it for me.
Dang it,
Yeah.
man!
Spoilers.
What do you mean?
Spoilers.
Everybody's gonna run out and rent a 13-year-old DVD.
Fuck yes. Sherlock
Uh,
Holmes dinosaurs. I'm already there. I was looking it up on Voodoo when you mentioned it.
Oh,
Thank
Tom,
goodness
I'm
Santa
so
Claus is
sorry.
still real.
Santa Claus is still real. Yeah.
Being
Okay.
that it's
Uh,
Asylum, though, it's probably free to watch with commercials, I bet.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
searched and
Tubi.
I
Go
found
check
it on
Tubi.
Tubi.
Yeah.
Tubi.
It's got Queen
not
Victoria
Tubi.
in it. Listen, there's a dragon that sets fire to Parliament in Westminster Abbey.
What?
You just gotta watch
Stop
it.
ruining it for me.
No shit. You're not going to leave anything left for the surprise.
Jeez.
Okay, so
Jesus
anyway,
Christ, but you're also enticing me at the same time.
there's a whole lot more I'm not telling you about this
Dominic
film.
Okay, good.
Keating's also in the very wonderful Species: The Awakening,
Oh
so
boy.
Yeah.
Speaking of straight
Awakening.
to video,
which
I
I'm
think
not
that
sure
was-
wasn't straight to video as well.
I think all the Species sequels were straight to video, from my knowledge. Maybe
Oh,
not part
thank
2, but I
goodness.
think they all were otherwise.
and they use
yeah.
the words the word wonderful very loosely.
You might
context.
recognize the guy that plays Dr. John Watson as being in the science fiction series Torchwood. So
Oh,
Mike.
Grabnad wants to know, would that be a
That's
Grand
right.
Dragon?
That's right, Torchwood.
it does not say.
Holmes.
You have to go and watch it to find out. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay. Okay.
There are no grand wizards in this film. I can say that.
Surprisingly.
Fair enough.
Surprisingly not.
All right.
But yeah, it's an silent film. Dinosaurs, Sherlock Holmes, 1882. Go see it.
Sold. Sold.
Done. Yeah.
Done. Sold. The only thing you could make it any better is if it had nunchucks in it. Like at
Or
this-
nuns.
might.
Nuns would have been good.
Oh, don't even. Oh, surprise,
Yeah.
surprise.
Well, the
Sherlock
big-
Holmes is a master of nunchucks, folks. We did not know this.
There is a big twist in this one that I'm not going to tell you about. So there you go.
Wow.
Oh wow.
There's a couple.
All right. And Tim does, yeah, I thought I was going to say, at least I thought maybe the second one made it to theaters, but after
Yeah.
that, no go.
Oh yeah.
All right. Moving on here. We've got my pick, or no, Scribe's pick next. Puppet Master 2. Now, you fucker, you had to pick one of the worst ones.
No. See, again, I kind of lean into
This is the one
sense
that
of-
doesn't fit in the franchise.
See, here's the thing. This is the first Puppet Master movie I ever saw. Okay. So when I saw this one as a kid, I was just absolutely blown away. I loved it. I
the
loved
effects are
everything
probably
about
the
it.
best in this one. I will give you that.
Yeah, the
'Cause they
effects
steal
will be-
the effects from this one for like all the rest of the movies after this.
Yeah, that was the thing. So yeah, we could talk about Puppet Master movies forever. But anyway, so this first one, so my first exposure to Puppet Master was this movie, and it was great. The monsters, of course, are completely memorable. You had your list up earlier. Yeah, it doesn't fit in with the lore, but then I didn't know that at the time, so it was just like, this is just an amazing movie, and I love everything about it. And plus, harkening back to my first pick, or my number 5 pick, the actress Charlie Spradling appears in it in one scene very memorably. I don't need to elaborate, I don't think, but that always made it a favorite of mine. But yeah, no, great whole little horror movie. I can't help but think of it as the best of the series because it was my first time. And then I watched most of the other ones after that, and for some reason they couldn't quite meet the simplicity of this one, because like you say, it does exist outside the lore, but at the same time the lore got so convoluted as it went on that I think this one's sort of sitting slightly outside of all that. I think it makes it more attractive to me overall. So yeah, Puppet Master 2.
Yeah, my only issue with the movie is how it goes. But again, this is one of those weird kind of sequels like Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Right. Yeah.
Insert a few other ones here where they realized, oh, we went the wrong direction. We need to reset. And I would have loved some kind of, and I think they even almost kind of chalk it up this way in one of the weird sequels where they just go through the stuff that happened before, where they say it was like somebody pretending to be Toulon or something like that. 'Cause that's my only issue with it. Is like, that's not Toulon, right? Like, that's the thing. I mean, I like it. You're not wrong. It is kind of a guilty pleasure of mine.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's my only issue with it, is how it does not fit with the other.
It wasn't in the first one.
Yeah.
Wasn't Toulon played by William Hickey, or is that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And then they kind of,
so-
and that was the whole thing with part 3, which actually got bumped off my list.
Mm.
Because in part 3 they reset it again, and that's a prequel where that you find out that
Yes.
the whole thing with the fighting of Yahtzees and all that business. with
Right,
it. And
yeah.
I like that kind of scenario better. And then from there they kind of picked that up.
Yeah, they
4,
seem to
5,
find their footing after Puppet Master 2 with trying to maintain a relative
a lot like
continuity.
Nightmare on Elm Street, like I compare. Yeah.
Yeah, but all the same, like I say, this is the first one I saw. My first. I think it might have been my very first full moon entertainment movie, if I'm not mistaken. So that really opened the door to me to a whole extra world of different things, and so for that reason, amongst other things, I really love it.
Well, we may talk some more about Puppet Master, so let's keep moving here.
Okay,
Because my number 3 pick.
I almost picked this.
I know. Well, I thought this got a theatrical release, and this is the one I was
did
talking
I.
about at the beginning of the movie.
I thought
think-
Or
so
the beginning of the show.
Briefly,
this is the movie I
did.
meant. It
thought
did
it
in
briefly
every
did.
other country but the US.
Yeah.
That's
I got-
why,
which is-
okay.
I got the
there was-
movie. I got the movie poster for this before it came out. I'm such a Punisher fan in general, and so when I heard they're making a Punisher movie, I was so excited. And then I saw it, and I still love it, but it doesn't hold up over time, except for one scene. But I'll talk about that in a minute.
I disagree to a point. Because me and Andre actually kind of debate on which our favorite Punisher is. Because I argue this one's probably one of the closer ones to the comic, outside of a few exceptions, especially compared to like the Thomas Jane one. Now, when you're talking about the other one, maybe not as much, but Warzone, like that's the thing. I would put it on the same plane as Warzone as far as the best 2 films.
Yeah, okay. We
I mean, I
could
get
have,
it. It
we
has
could have a
its
much longer
easiness to it.
conversation on this.
Now, this
I would
is
love
where,
to-
we flip-flop on the whole Puppet Master 2 thing, and I totally
Yes.
respect that. Because I get it. This has a very cheesy, canon, 1980s feel to it, and that's why I fucking love it. Right? Like,
okay.
it has that value to it that I think is missing from the Thomas Jane one, but they kind of have it in War Games, right? In a weird way. So, like, or which did I just call it? Warzone is what I meant. Sorry.
Warzone, yes.
Yeah. So whatever, it is what it is. But I understand those who may not like it. Andre respects it, but he doesn't like it as his favorite one either. He doesn't think it's the best representation of.
No, I'll try not to take too long, because I could talk about Punisher movies forever, but I appreciate Dolph Lundgren. I appreciated his presence, his physicality definitely fits in with Frank Castle.
He looks the most like the Punisher from the comics, in my opinion.
I'd say I argue Ray Stevenson does a better
He's okay,
visual
but
representation,
I
but
don't
okay.
know.
And I mean, Louis Gossett Jr.'s in it, which adds a whole lot of clout to it, as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, I love his characters. That's why I like it too. Yeah.
My favorite line, my favorite bit in the whole deal is when they finally arrest the Punisher and Louis Gossett Jr.'s there, and he says something like, "What do you call 125 murders in 7 years?" And he just says, "Work in progress." And I'm like, that is great.
Right.
That is so good. But yeah, but the Yakuza stuff. And here's the thing: I have the comic book adaptation. There's at least a skull in the comic book adaptation. There's no skull in this movie. I thought that was a sin beyond words.
That was
How do you
the
have
biggest
Punisher and no
mistake
sin?
of the film.
No
I will
skull.
agree.
Yeah.
Or at the
But,
very least, they should have had him at the end. Have it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, for the fact that there was a Punisher film when I was a kid was just amazing in and of itself. So I love it for that. I've got a copy of it on DVD around here somewhere. Did they ever release it on Blu-ray? I'd be surprised if they did.
Technically, yes. Not in the US though. You have to
Of
import
course.
it umbrella,
Of
but it
course.
is region free, and it is actually a
Yeah.
really good special edition. It has a standard edition version of an alternate cut on it and a bunch of special features and all that business, and it looks really good compared to the US DVD is horrible.
Yes, it is.
It is
It
horrid.
is. It's
It is
bad.
one of the worst scans, and not only that, it lies and says it's in stereo when the film was done in Dolby Stereo, which was a rarity for the company behind it,
Yeah.
New World.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a big deal for them, and
Yeah.
so yeah, it gets proper treatment on the umbrella release. It definitely needs a new transfer / special edition. Primed for 4K release at some point here. It'd be
Yeah,
nice.
this almost made my number 5 on the list, but I was just like, yeah. it
This is
hasn't
the one
aged
that
well enough,
bumped
yeah.
Puppet Master 3 off mine.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, now, like I say, I could talk about Punisher and Punisher movies for years, so I'll just stop now before I go any further.
No worries. All right, so let's get to the chat and see what you guys said in the chat as far as your favorite Leprechaun sequel. Get your votes in now. I don't see enough votes in there, so I think we're gonna keep going. We'll come back to that because you guys only voted like 100 votes. I need more than that. There's over like 400 of you watching. Come on, vote. Get out and vote.
Tom
Rock
needs
the
like
vote.
250 likes of the stream to feel good about himself. So
That's true. I got an ego problem.
You're also assuming 400 people have seen any of the Leprechaun sequels.
Shh! Don't ruin my life. Region free is an STD free of the Blu-ray player. Well, yeah, kind of. All right, let's keep moving here to number 2. We already talked about this. It was Brian's. Number 2 is Tremors 2 Aftershocks. Good choice.
Yeah, so we've talked about it.
Yep.
Might as well move on. It's a great
will.
movie, though. Great movie.
Yeah. Number 2 on Brahma's list, Extraction. Now this is another newer
I
one.
actually had Extraction 2, but yeah.
Well,
came out
Extraction
June
2
of this year. Yeah, I wasn't sure on Extraction 1 whether it was straight to Netflix or not. I was pretty sure about it, but Extraction 2
believe that it
we all know
was.
straight to
Yeah.
Netflix. So you could put him in as, both of them. So great movies with Hemsworth. I'm pretty sure you guys all saw this one, right?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm the only
Right.
one who hasn't.
I would.
Really?
I
You didn't see it?
I might have included them if I thought
I'm
we
not
could.
the biggest Hemsworth fan.
But he loves
Yeah,
you,
it's-
Tom.
I kind of
He's
only
very
like
good
him in
in these
store.
films.
I hated him in like National Lampoon's Vacation remake, and anything else I've seen him in, I've never really been a fan of his, and that's why one of the reasons why I haven't seen it.
You're
You should
just
give
big-
these a shot. You should
You're
give these a shot.
bigoted against Australians. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Mm.
these are great action movies. So, I mean, you might like them. They're similar to the vein of old 80s action movies. It's just nonstop go. Tons of stunts, tons of fights. They're good movies. They're very fun. Both of them were made by Netflix, straight to Netflix. So
There you go.
I kind of skirted the
That was the
rules.
exception I made. No, that was the one
Mm.
exception I did make.
God damn it.
Well,
I
yeah,
wish I'd read
because
that
the
exception.
movie that we both picked for number 1, we had to make that
I
exception.
might have had
Well,
a completely different
Curse of
list.
Chucky, I think, was the same thing too, where it was premiered on Netflix and video at the same time. But yeah.
Yeah.
Hunch the Dirty Roofer asks Eddie says Eddie and the Cruisers 2. Eddie Lives better be on someone's list. Honestly, Hunch the Dirty Roofer, I don't even know anybody who likes that movie. That movie was always a joke.
Well, apparently,
Yeah,
you
listen
do
to
now.
Brian. He's about to lose his shit over there.
It may be on a list. It may be on a list, but it's a different list.
A shit list, yeah.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once, to be fair.
I don't hate it. Like I kind of like the whole idea of all the the star faking their death kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it is one of those sequels that makes you go, this might be almost as bad as Weekend at Bernie's 2, making you go, why does this have a sequel?
As bad
Right
as
below.
Grease 2?
Right- oh, just above, but right below. Just right in that sandwich spot between the two.
Yeah.
You got Weekend at Bernie's 2. I can't, as much as I actually like, because this is where I can say to Tox, like, and I know he's not being like a troll. Like, he unironically loves really goofy, bad shit movies. Weekend at Bernie's 2 should not fucking exist.
It
Right?
should not. We
It
both
should
agree
not
with that.
exist. The fact that it does
Is a problem.
is hilarious.
Mhm.
Well, it's not a problem so much as it is hilarious.
It's
And I
like
s-
Jennifer Lawrence went back in time and dropped a copy of Weekend at Bernie's 2 from another dimension in this timeline.
Exactly. It's a movie that should not exist, and the fact that it does, I get tickled pink just in general about it. So
Mhm.
Eddie and the Cruisers 2 is right in between that and Grease 2. Grease 2 is fucking horrid.
Oh my God.
But I can understand Grease 2 existing. The top two existing, I cannot understand.
These 2 killed many people's careers.
There's a song about bowling in it. I mean, like,
I know.
that's how
What a wonderful song.
but Eddie Deazen's in it.
That's true. He is
He's one of the returning cast members. Yeah,
one of the returning cast members.
that's true. Weekend at Bernie's 2, The Stench. What I want to know is how the fuck did Andrew McCarthy's hair grow that much overnight? Like, that was my question.
It was kinda
Rogaine.
Like, because it's supposed to take place the very next day. So I'm like, okay, at least that explains why Bernie isn't like, a
Rotting.
skull by now, completely fucking, what's the word? Decomposed. That was the word I was looking for.
Yes.
But like, here we go. We got Andrew McCarthy, who now has almost shoulder length fucking hair compared to the first film. It's like, wait a minute here. Could somebody have not taken at least the time to redo his hair? Was that part of his fucking deal? Is like, I gotta have this hair. Like, that makes no sense to me. That's the worst fucking part of the whole movie. Not the voodoo shit, not the fact that it exists, but Andrew McCarthy's hair is the most unbelievable part of the whole fucking movie.
I bet he had another production he was on where he had to keep the hair for continuity, so it was kind of like a maybe a Superman situation on the mustache. Just like I gotta keep the hair.
Because at this point in Andrew's career, I think he was on the way downward slope.
Sure.
And I think Weekend at Bernie's was probably one of his first movie in a couple of years. Yeah. And like that was where I was like, what the fuck, dude? And they made a big deal. Like, people don't realize, I remember when that movie came out, Fox had like a whole night where they showed the first movie and they had those two with Bernie hosting and shit and all that crap. And I'm just like, God, they're making a big deal out of this movie. And does anybody remember the whole plot of the movie? Bernie is brought back to life by voodoo so they could show him where
that's right.
The bad guys where the money is that he fucking stole. So whenever he hears, because they fucked up on the voodoo ritual, so every time he hears music, that's the only time he moves.
Right.
And it's actually, you start laughing after a while, because the whole thing with fucking what's his face who plays Bernie is brilliant. Just his whole, because he keeps that fucking smirk through the whole goddamn thing. Got to give him credit for that. I do. And it's never gotten I don't know. Maybe it got a DVD release, but I don't remember if it did or not. I actually don't own it, which is surprising. But anyway, we've talked way too much about the wrong movie. Extraction. Go see it.
On Netflix.
Not go see Weekend at Bernie's 2.
Well, Meatballs 2 don't make no sense because it wasn't even meant to be Meatballs 2.
Right. Did they do a Hot Tub Time Machine 2?
They did, and that's a horrible sequel as well.
Yeah.
There were moments.
It has some moments, but like, yeah, it's
nothing compared to the first one.
And yes, Thunder Dragon Teen Wolf 2 is also among the list of movies that probably should. And it only just because you don't have Michael J. Fox in it. It's like
those are pure money grabs.
Yeah. All right. We've got number 2 on Toxic Man Flu's list, and I believe this was the other one on Brian's list. This was the one I had to look up because I thought this did get a theatrical release, but I think it was just a couple of theaters.
I think it showed in Robert Meyer Burnett's living room for a day.
Quite a bit, yes.
Yeah.
I actually thought this did get a semi-theatrical release, but I was wrong.
No, I think it
probably did not. My list too. But that's what I was saying. This was one of the toughest lists we've ever done. I had a lot of movies that get bumped. In fact, my list changed just before the show. But Free Enterprise, go ahead, guys. Brian and Todd.
Dogs go.
So this is one of my favorite films anyway. 1999. Considered a romantic comedy. William Shatner was in it. And you had the guy, Eddie McCormick, who was Will from Will and Grace in there. Just about everybody else a little forgettable. I think the soundtrack was pretty good from this. Shatner actually did something called Rated R, No Tears for Caesar, that it just makes me laugh.
Spock was the soundtrack. Scott Spock.
Yeah, it was just hilarious.
It's true.
These two guys were trying to get a movie shopped around, and they end up running into their idol, William Shatner. So William Shatner plays himself. It was pretty funny. The one fact I'll say, and then I'll toss it over to Brian, who I believe knows this movie inside and out. William Shatner turned down the role originally because he was just going to be playing a advisor that shows up every once in a while. And he wanted to be more real. And he's the one that made it into parroting himself as a lonely, drunk, pompous asshole that everybody kind of thought he was at the time. And was he still doing the comp show at this time? I can't remember when Boston Legal came around. This was 1999.
1999.
He was 60.
Boston Legal was out then, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was Boston Legal. Yeah, he was doing stuff. So he was in the height of doing stuff. He was 65 years old, and he doesn't look it in this film. I mean, the guy's 90, and he looks like he's 70. So you want to talk to somebody that got hit with the gene tree pretty well. That was him. But they go through, and then they meet him, and comedy ensues from there. And it's actually a really good performance by Bill Shatner. He's a classically trained actor, and it shows in this kind of stuff. Thanks to there. So, but yeah, it's a really good film. You could probably find it on Tubi or something like that, but really, you need to see it.
Yeah, I just thought it would be nice to have a romantic comedy on the list.
Mhm.
It's a number. I think it was my number 3. It's the thing I like about it, apart from Bill Shatner's masterful performance. I mean, what a wonderful guy he is. Is the fact that it portrays the fact you don't have to give up your love of what they would call geek then. I would prefer to use the word genre. Your love of genre things to become an adult.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that was really the main theme of the film. I mean, Shatner was still reeling from that appearance on Saturday Night Live when he told Lovitz, have you even kissed a girl? Get a life. All that stuff. It was supposed to be a joke. And, Nimoy was still coming around to the whole I am Spock stuff, and he's still getting to grips with all that. The one of the women in this show was Deborah Van Valkensburg, who was in The Warriors.
Oh, that's
1979.
Right.
And she would play Jackie Rush in Too Close for Comfort. She was in a bunch of stuff. So there's a few
Streets
people
of
in
Fire she was in too, which is a great movie.
But or if you're a geek, if you're a nerd, whatever, and you're into this Star Trek stuff, it takes from there. This is a nice feel-good story. It really is.
Well, in our community, you should almost just have seen it just because of Robert.
But to people like
there's
us,
some guy directed it that we might have known, Robert Meyer Burnett, right?
Yeah.
This is the reason I supported Axanar at the beginning when I saw that Robert Meyer Burnett was part of it, was because of Free Enterprise. So,
yeah, I just like the message that you don't have to. Growing up doesn't mean abandoning the things that you love. And you shouldn't be ashamed of being a nerd or a geek, and it's part of your life that we love these properties. I grew up with the original Star Trek as a kid.
Right.
I'm that old. So it spoke to me, and it's a fun movie. There's some ton of great references in it. It's such fun picking out all the references. And William Shatner is the man's an immortal legend.
What's funny is I believe it was Chris Gore who keyed me into this movie. And I believe it was on DVD Doomsday or something like that, or he had brought it up somewhere. And then that in turn got me introduced to this, who introduced me to Rob, because Rob wrote, directed, I believe, and all that kind of stuff in the film.
He is also a writer.
Co-wrote it and directed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say one of the characters are based on him and one of his friends.
He edited it too, which is
well, and he wants to do a director's cut. There is 2 versions of the film. There's the regular one and there's the director's cut. But he wants to do a new final director's cut like Ridley Scott.
There was always intended to be he always intended to do a sequel, but it never happened for whatever reason.
And he's talked about this extensively with us too. And the problem with the first film right now is the producer owns it and won't seem to let the rights go or let Rob do anything with it. But Rob's working on it in the background, supposedly. I can't say anything more if I did know anything more. So that being said, yes, he had a sequel in mind. I doubt it'll ever happen, but
I do like the fact that Bill William Shatner's character giving relationship advice. It's just hilarious, isn't it? It's so funny. It's like, really, you're really going to go to this guy for relationship advice? But anyway,
it's
a great love letter to the stuff that we love.
You can probably find it on eBay on DVD, though. Just keep in mind it has not. He wants to do an updated release of it. It just hasn't gotten a chance to yet. So, but that being said, moving on to Scribes number 2, Always Outnumbered. What's this one about?
So, also known as Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned. So, this is long ago. I worked at a video store, and we'd get the screener copies of movies that were about to come out that were advertisements to the video store owners. And we'd get all these things. And this and my next pick are both HBO original deals. And so this is Lawrence Fishburne, directed by Michael Apted, is an excellent, excellent character study. So Lawrence Fishburne plays a character named Socrates Fortlow, and he's an ex-con who's trying to make it in the world and trying to deal with the ins and outs of trying to struggle to survive without an education or opportunities and other things. And it's I don't know how to explain it. Fishburne's performance in this is, as far as I'm concerned, iconic. Like I've never forgotten the character of Socrates Fortlow, and I haven't watched this movie in, I don't know, 20 years or something. But as soon as you started talking about direct-to-video movies, it was almost the first one that came to my mind. The performances are great. The direction is great. The writing is amazing. The characterization, like I say, I remember interactions and characters from this film, and I haven't seen it in so long. I can't recommend it more highly, and it's a great little piece to watch.
Yeah, there's a couple of the HBO movies I should have included, and God, I feel bad for not. So I guess I'll bring up now. You had RKO 281.
Yep.
Which was great. You had, I don't think these are on your list, so I feel okay bringing them up.
No, you're fine.
RKO 281, the Late Shift, which was the one about David Letterman and Jay Leno's
that was great.
battle.
Yep.
61 was another great one. And then over on the Showtime side, and also straight to video, I should have this on my list, and I forgot all about it because I was like, oh shit, I just remembered now that it was technically straight to video. And Psycho 4, very underrated.
Oh yeah,
very underrated. In fact, it's the basis pretty much for the Bates Motel TV show.
Right.
So yeah, those are my honorable mentions up front here that I could think of. But yeah, when you brought up HBO, those movies are great. So I don't know, maybe I'll have to check this out. They do good work there. So
yeah, it's really, like I say, Lawrence Fishburne. I save for Event Horizon, I struggle to think of a Lawrence Fishburne character that made as much of an impact on my memory of his range than the one he plays in this film. So I'd really, if you like Lawrence Fishburne or you're curious about it, really check it out. It's really well done.
All right. Anybody else seen it? Nope.
No.
I'd be surprised.
Nope,
It's not exactly a.
I've jotted it down though.
All right. And my number 2 is the original 1989 Puppet Master.
You don't want to see your number 2, Tom.
He saw my number 2. This was just blew me away when I first saw it. As Charles Band tends to do, he manages to bring out a movie in the height of some other kind of horror craze, but yet manages to bring the most original ripoff to the table, if you can imagine that. So in the height of the Child's Play, hype, he brings out this straight-to-video classic. I mean, it's probably one of the most well-known straight-to-video films as there is. Full Moon's original first feature, Puppet Master. Great little story. It all takes place in this hotel called Bodega Bay. And I love just the whole setup. You get this group of psychics brought together by this other psychic for a specific reason, and there's these killer puppets running amok. And I just find it very good little movie, and it's a nice, tight little 90-minute movie. The effects are really good considering. Probably one of the best Full Moon features yet to this day. It still hasn't aged at all. I mean, I think it holds up real well. Scribe, you had the second one on your list, so I got to imagine you're a fan of this one as well.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of the first, like, admittedly, I haven't seen some of the more recent ones, but I saw like the first 4.
The recent ones are a lot of hit and miss, but yeah.
Yeah. The first 4 I saw with some regularity, just on rewatching and stuff. But yeah, the Puppet Master 2 and Puppet Master 1. Yeah, and then once they started like getting their act together, like I said, with Puppet Master 3 for the plot and everything. But I always like William Hickey. I don't know. There's something about that guy. I always appreciate his raspy voice and just his attitude and everything. And yeah, he did a great job in that too. It was great.
I love how he can play anything, and that's why I think he was kind of fitting as Toulon, even though he never came back.
Right.
Because he could play good, he could play bad, he could play funny, he could play feeble, he could play sweet.
Mm-hmm.
He could play anything you wanted, and you're right. Like, he had that great voice, that great presence. Even though he's only in the movie for like 3 minutes,
Yeah,
He
he
has
was
what,
probably
like
doing
one
a Dave
line, I
Filoni.
think.
Yeah, he's just and you still remember it because he's just such a great character actor.
And although I think they reuse his footage in part 2, but yeah,
Could be. I can't remember.
and some of the other movies, but yeah, I don't know. Either way, I thought it was a very well done film, and I highly recommend it if you've never seen it. So let's end our poll. And the winner of the Leprechaun straight to video sequels, because Leprechaun in the Hood was on my list, but it got bumped. So
You bumped
that
a
was your
leprechaun? You
yeah.
bumped a leprechaun? You
I
bigot.
bumped it. Of course, it's a midget. No. Leprechaun in the Hood, no surprise, won with 46% of the vote. Leprechaun 3, another favorite of mine, came in at 27% of the vote at number 2. Back to the Hood only got 14% of the vote, and Leprechaun in Space, aka 4, got 11% of the vote. So there you go. Did I say 11% for Back to the Hood? That was 14%. Sorry if I said that wrong. But there you go, guys. I'll try to think of another poll, but I think we're done with the polls because we're on to number 1, guys. We're going to try and get out of here before 10 o'clock so Culture doesn't have an aneurysm. Let's
He's
see
not
here.
scheduled till 10:30 now.
He's going to have to change it. He's the one who didn't want to go too late. I'm making it so he can have an early crowd. He better get ready. He better be
Did
listening.
you tell him?
He better
Should I text him that?
text him and change it to 10 o'clock. I think we'll get out of here by then. All
Yeah,
right.
30
Number
minutes.
1 on 70s rock fans list is on somebody else's list. He got cock blocked.
And I was going to say, though, now that you mentioned...
Oh my God, the cock.
Oh my God, the cock. Having mentioned Leprechauns, I was disappointed to find out that Darby O'Gill and the Little People was released in cinemas. Otherwise, that would have been number 1
There you
any
go.
day of the week.
Yeah.
No, move on. I think some others were
We'll
bound to
find
have
out
my choice.
soon enough.
Other people were bound.
What? On here. What the heck is going on here?
I know.
Now, I have to
Don't
say that
All
trust
right.
me.
didn't, Brahma
No.
didn't copy anyone else. His pick was just so bad, I just X'd it out.
Well, Tox, we're on to you. A Boondock Saints for
So this
number
is
1.
the one Brian and I tied on as number 1.
Oh, we
so
tied it
this
on.
is a phenomenal film. And I'm reminded of Brian every time I watch this film.
Well, you know what? I have a bone to pick with this movie, even though it's my number 1 on this list. Casting Billy Connolly as an Irishman, that's sacrilege.
I know.
He went along with it. One of the greatest living Scotsmen, and he went along with it. How dare you? How dare you?
Well, I think
Billy?
it's Scott's, culturally appropriating the Irish.
Not sure he changed his accent, of course.
I was just going to say, but Brian, how was his accent?
He was
That's
still
pretty much
Scottish.
the same accent. Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't change his
Exactly.
accent.
People watching this like, he's not
Theoretically,
Irish.
he's Irish.
he didn't go around diddly potatoes.
I do love his entrance into the movie, though. It's great.
Oh,
when
it's
he comes
great.
in.
Il Duce.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's brilliant.
Oh yeah, it just got William Dafoe. It's got Billy Connolly. I mean, come on, and they're just the tertiary people in the film. The 2 kids are.
Yeah, I've never actually seen this movie. Full fucking
What?
disclosure. I know.
What?
Everybody just freak out on me.
You know
I think I
everything
have
about
it.
all these stupid ass Puppet Master
One of
films.
the greatest.
But you haven't seen
vigilante-
this?
One of the greatest vigilante action violence
Oh,
movies
God.
ever.
Tom, when did you defect from Russia? What the hell, dude?
I
You never
know.
seen-
It completely went under my radar for
Freaking
years.
communist.
Oh, how does
I
Boondock
don't
Saints
know
end up
the
on your
fuck how,
radar?
because it was just one of those movies that just didn't
Oh,
resonate
man.
in our area.
Well,
Or
you know
something
why
like
they-
that. I don't know.
Well,
Why they didn't release this in theaters?
Yeah, it's a
Except
bad
for a few
story.
My
places.
buddy got
Yeah.
into it later, and he was the one who told me
Mm-hmm.
you'd probably like it because, like I was into Tarantino and shit like that. But anyway, you were saying, go ahead.
So it was a limited release of 5 theaters in January 21, 2000.
Mhm.
The reason they did that is because Columbine High School
Yeah.
happened just a little bit before.
Right.
So this is one of those. It would have been a theatrical film. It
Bad
would have done very
timing.
well. So it's kind of a cheat. Sit there and say that this went straight to DVD or any of that. They got the release out so that it was probably contractual that they have to have some kind of theatrical release, but mostly it was DVD.
There's a great documentary, if you haven't seen it, about the behind the scenes making of this called Overnight, and it talks about. I mean, it's probably one of the most revealing and chaotic. Because just watching the writer director, whose name escapes me all of a sudden.
Troy Duffy.
Troy Duffy, yeah.
Yeah.
But in this documentary, you just see the failings of an overextended ego on display. It's amazing. Plus, there's some stuff with Harvey Weinstein back in the olden days. I mean, the documentary alone is worth the price of admission.
I love
it's great.
described.
Yeah.
I love the inspiration he got for writing the screenplay. When it was a dead woman being wheeled out of a drug dealer's apartment across from his.
Yeah.
I said he was so disgusted he sat down and wrote the screenplay of this as a revenge against dealers type thing. It's
right. Well, they did a sequel.
Yes.
10 years later or so.
Unfortunately.
It's actually not bad. I enjoyed it. Wasn't it?
Why am I not surprised you like it, Tox? Because it's like very much hated by the fans, even though they demanded its existence.
Right. And it's just, I'm like, okay, I understand what they're trying to do with this. Right. But I mean, it's not the first one, but it's very difficult to have lightning strike twice. Okay. You either have a shitty first film and somebody comes through the second one and bam, it's great. Like Star Trek 2, right? Even though Star Trek The Motion Picture is my favorite film of all time, that is 100% a childhood emotion memory pick for being number one because of where it's there and all the stuff from that. But Star Trek 2 Wrath of Khan is not even, it is a better film by the way that's made. But this is one of those films when it came out, and you see Boondock Saints, you're just like, oh shit. Oh shit. It's like it's a Tarantino film before, it.
Yes.
It's just, yeah.
Choreographed, stylized action violence. It's just beautifully choreographed. Yeah.
And so when Flannery and Reedus are just in sync.
Yes.
In the film. And they are in sync in the second one too. So that to me, it's just two people of a same mind, of a same purpose that work together to reach a goal. And it's a revenge thing from there. So
it's justice. They're dishing out biblical justice.
Yeah, it is a
and it pissed off.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People say, "Oh, Vigilante's wrong." No, there's not. I mean, almost all of Clint Eastwood films are him dishing out some kind of justice,
and it pissed off a lot of the right people, which I liked. So
yeah,
who hated it, and I went, "Great, I'm glad you hate it."
That's not right. And all that stuff in there.
Awesome. Yeah.
It just shows how fake those people are. When you see something like this, like all these, you know what? If I had the ability, if something I got wrong like that, or what was the one with he's Nick Fury. Why can I not remember his
David
name?
Hasselhoff?
Yes, David Hasselhoff.
Okay.
Samuel Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson. It's a good goddamn beer. But Samuel L. Jackson did that one where his daughter was raped and then he killed them, right? The people and all this stuff, things there, that kind of stuff. And you're like, if I'd have been on that jury, I'd have acquitted him every single time.
Time to Kill.
Time to kill. Right.
Okay.
If I'd have been on the jury with these guys, I'd acquitted them every single time. Why? Because there's sometimes some people just need to be gone because they are complete and utter dicks. So
the other thing I like about this is that Connor McManus, the Flannery, Sean Patrick Flannery character, is he bases everything on Clint Eastwood and Charles Bronson movies.
Yes,
like so his plans reference like Chuck Bronson. Let's do it the way Chuck would, that kind of thing. It's just I love that. I love that about it. I mean, and of course, Death Wish is a huge inspiration to this, and it's also my favorite Ron Jeremy movie. I have to say.
Oh God,
he's in there.
3 seconds.
Well, there's FBI Special Agent Paul Schmecker. I always thought that was a wonderful name.
Willem Dafoe,
possibly
the least effeminate gay man ever in a movie.
Except when he has
$1 million budget. They made $30,000 box office.
Yeah.
And then, but they went on. It made money.
50 million or so in video, I think, or whatever. Yeah. It's
also Rocco. Rocco's rant at his girlfriend and her friend and everything. Also, the cat. I'm not going to say too much if anybody hasn't seen it, but man, Rocco and the cat. That was great.
Yeah, it's great. It's so. I mean, pre-John. We're talking 1999, so it's pre things like John Wick and now, which have taken sort of violent action to a certain level. This film was doing great stuff in terms of choreography of that kind of action.
Yeah.
In 1999, probably. I don't know. Was there anything comparable? I can't think of it. There might be. I don't know.
A lot of Tarantino knockoffs.
Yeah, I can't remember really, but it's just so, so stylized. It's great.
When was Reservoir Dogs?
Oh, it was 96?
1, 2.
92? Oh, was that old?
92, yeah, at least. It was
Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, I think,
but I really think Kill Bill, but that's a single person.
No, wait. Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. You guys ever see that one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a Tarantino wannabe kind of movie. But I always, for some reason, I kind of think of Boondock Saints and that one somehow contemporaries to each other. If you haven't seen it, it's actually pretty good. Kiefer Sutherland's in it and all that. It's a good crime flick.
Because even what was the longest thing? What was the vampire movie that Tarantino did? He was starring in
From Dusk Till
Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Right. Even then,
yeah.
When these two guys are in sync, okay. Some of these movies you might have like in Mr. and Mrs. Smith, they're doing stuff in that final scene where they're killing people all over the place. Okay, yeah, whatever. You got 5,000 people trying to kill these two, and they're getting hit in this, paper thin body armor with 308 rounds and just shrugging it off. I'm like, okay, whatever. This movie, they really get hurt. They really do stuff, right? And they get beat up and all these things in there, but you can just tell that both of them are on the same exact page, same level of intelligence, same level of getting out and how to think things, how to kill and all that stuff. Just boom, 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 boom. And the movie has good synchronicity. So
great music
it's
too.
not just a police album.
Music's really well used in it too.
Yeah, it was well done. I think it definitely would have made its budget back of $6 million back in the day if it had come out there. But again, Columbine happened. It was quite a big thing in the U.S. Caused a lot of problems with this kind of film.
All right. Well, since I think the last pick is on my and Brahma's list, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
We got a couple of super chats here. Let's grab Christian Delorme, vinyl revival. Sorry, I don't even know why I said record. So Shatner and Plummer are both from Montreal and both played Shakespeare in Strathford, Ontario.
Stratford, yeah. I actually saw Christopher Plummer doing Shakespeare in Stratford in Ontario. Nice. I went to see him. He was 80. It was A Midsummer Night's Dream, and he was unbelievable. And he was 80, and it's incredible to think of because he had a lot of lines in that one. It was brilliant.
Probably still know them all by heart.
Yeah, it was great to see a guy like that doing stage work.
We don't get too many great actors like that anymore.
Yeah, Stratford is in Ontario is where they have a big, strangely enough, Shakespeare festival every year. And theatre festival. I used to live near there in Ontario, and you got some wonderful stuff there. But you would Shatner started out in the 50s. There's quite a lot of still footage of him in shows, plays there, and so he was well experienced at Shakespearean and stage work before he moved into TV. So great actor.
There you go.
Plummer was amazing.
And Six sends us a pooper sticker. Thank you so much, Six. Daniel Gray says, have you all seen Wrong Turn 2? I've seen the first one, but not the second one. And I don't remember liking the first one. I remember that being a great straight to DVD film. Henry Rollins was great in the roles as the retired soldier. Yeah, I saw this on a few of the lists when I did some research for this list. But no, I don't believe it made anybody else's list because Brahma and my number one is coming up here. You have as well,
Scribe first.
No, that's wrong. That number one is not that the full title of number two is Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned.
Oh shit! So what's your number one?
Number one is called When Trumpets Fade. When Trumpets Fade is. Sorry,
I said you're fired, Tox.
Yeah, that was. I put a comma there, but
you're hired.
My bad. Back here. Anyway, yeah. So replace your mind a movie called When
muted.
Trumpets Fade. I'm muted.
No,
Tox was, and I thought he was saying sorry.
Okay.
I use a comma separated value file.
Let me start over. Okay,
so that's why.
So
Sorry.
when
My
Trumpets
bad.
Fade, it's a HBO, another HBO original. It's a World War II film. Stars Ron Eldard, has Timothy Oliphant back when he was a teenager. Dwight Yoakam's in it, Frank Whaley, Bobby Cannavale, Jerry Donovan. Excellent cast. And you would be forgiven for thinking that this was made in a knockoff or in the aftermath, let's say, of Saving Private Ryan, because it has that same grit to it, that same kind of washed out look and filming style and everything. But in fact, this movie came out a month before Saving Private Ryan was released. So it might have been in production, parallel or maybe inspired by for the sake of putting it out there. But it is an excellent, just an excellent film, excellent war movie. The performances are absolutely top notch by a cast that at the time, save for a face here or there, maybe not any big stars, but that kind of helps you detach yourself from the characters and thinking that you know who's going to do what or who's going to survive the situation. It is, as far as I know, it's set during the Battle of the Hurtgen Forest, which was not, as most battles are, not a very fun battle. And like I say, it's a number one on my list for a reason. It's absolutely excellent. If you have not seen it and you like Saving Private Ryan, you like war movies in general, or just like excellent little period pieces on that kind of stuff, it's amazing. And if you can find, I don't know where you can find these things. I don't know if you can find Always Outnumbered somewhere. I don't know if you can find When Trumpets Fade somewhere like on Tubi or otherwise, but if you can, definitely give it a watch.
All right. Sorry, we mucked up your list here.
It's all right.
But we're going to move on, and we're not going to speak of it again, are we, Tox?
It's not called the shit list for no reason.
That's right. It wouldn't be a show if we wouldn't fuck up at least 3 times.
There you go.
So I think we are on our 3rd time there. And okay, so as stated, Brahma and Mai's number 1 is Tetris. Still my favorite film of the year. Brahma, go ahead.
Well, I think we both said that. We both watched it the weekend it came out, and we both went straight to Twitter and said, this is the best movie of the year. And it's just a good, well-done movie. Taron Egerton is great in it. It's not kind of what you expect from a movie named Tetris. It's actually the story of how it got brought out of the Soviet Union to the rest of the world. And it's based on a true story, but not really following it very closely. So,
loosely based.
Yeah. I mean, the different people that are in the movie are based on, for the most part, real people, but they take a lot of creative license with it. But just a fantastically acted movie. It
for the most part, the story
smoothly.
did happen, though. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, yes, they're just Hollywooding it up a little bit. So.
Right.
Making it more exciting because
a little bit more of the espionage they played up a little bit and stuff like that, but yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it's just one that I think everybody should see this year because it was easily the best movie I've seen this year.
No, I totally agree. Like you said, it's great performances all around. Is it historically accurate? Maybe not, but it's very entertaining, engaging, and the way it's done was very well done, and I couldn't believe they didn't do some sort of theatrical release for this film because, like you said, we watched it the weekend it came out, and it's like took forever for anybody to come around to it. Not too many people really did.
No.
So
nobody talked about it in our area very much.
Yeah, I saw it. It's a great movie. I would have considered putting it on here, but I didn't read the rules properly. So on my list, but it is fabulous, very entertaining, and I don't mind. I don't mind movies playing with history if it makes for a good movie.
Again, like I said, they play a little loose with things, but it's not nearly as bad as say like Bohemian Rhapsody, like which is in some cases
was
just
all true and 100% accurate.
Yeah, right.
But it's
With the Weird Al
entertainment.
story.
So what do we expect from our
The Weird
entertainment?
Al story was 100% accurate.
Yes.
Michael Jackson definitely wrote Bad after hearing Fat.
Oh, of course. No. In that respect, though, I still found it very entertaining, very well done. I don't know if it'll get any attention come awards season. I don't think it qualifies because it didn't. I don't know. They've kind of changed the rules so much that I have no idea anymore. But yeah, no, it's pending seeing a few other movies. This is my favorite of the year still, and definitely my favorite.
Pacing's fantastic.
Oh yes, and the way they integrate,
whole movie just moves through. Yeah,
the music and the graphics of the game and the editing style, I thought it was very well done. And it just keeps moving. It has this great momentum to it. The only other film that I liked as much as this year was Air, and it has a very similar kind of, this idea of the making of the product kind of story, whatever you want to call that. Yeah, which I mean, you could even throw kind of in a way the Gran Turismo film in there, but the last two did manage to go to theaters, and this one didn't, so that's why it made my list, and obviously yours as well.
Yep, that was the first thing that I knew had to be on the list. So, and I think you had forgotten it at first, and then it was pointed out to you, and you're like, "Oh,
yes,
hell yeah!"
Yeah, because it actually reached my criteria. I'm like, "Oh yeah, duh."
Yep.
It's so good, I keep forgetting that. But again, that's the end of our list, guys. And I admit it, I was wrong. 6 was right. We should have done best time travel movies. I didn't even think about it again after she mentioned it.
Well, we can go back and do that again.
I don't have a time machine. Do you? All I could go back was an hour this morning.
Jennifer Lawrence does.
Well, Jennifer Lawrence is perfect. I'm not fucking perfect.
Yes.
Okay. If I was fucking perfect, I would be Jennifer fucking Lawrence. Now, wouldn't I?
Jennifer fucking loins? What?
Jennifer fucking Lawrence.
What were the loins?
Loins?
You like just about everyone else, huh? Sorry. Wasn't funny. I didn't realize that was 6's suggestion, or else I would have voted for that.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mine is still movies that deserve a sequel but never got one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
We did guilty pleasure movies, didn't we?
Not yet.
Well,
he's not on this
our own
series.
list. No.
Yeah.
No, it was somebody else's. Yeah.
No, well, I'll take everybody's list, and I'm not going to pick one. I mean, I'm not going to make one my own this time. It's going to be your guys' choice. So, yeah.
I vote for whatever 6 says.
I still think, given that we're coming up for Remembrance Day here in Canada, Veterans Day or whatever, and yes, we should do war movies. But
is that next weekend or?
Yeah,
next
weekend.
Maybe because I think next weekend is 6's week to work. So,
when's Veterans Day here? Is it this Friday or
it's the 11th?
11th. Okay.
Yeah.
I think we should all just submit a whole bunch of different list ideas, and then every week we just have a poll in the chat on which one they want us to do the next week.
We might have to. That means we actually have to organize better.
Why don't we submit our top 5 list of lists and we'll do those?
Stop being so fucking meta, Brian.
Listception.
Tyranix in the chat says that J-Law invented the direct-to-video movie.
She did.
That's right.
She did.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah.
She even invented lists.
So she went back to
videos.
1987 did Redneck Zombies.
And she created Sony. And so that means she did beta and VHS.
She did beta and VHS, all of it.
Vicariously, one way or the other.
Mm-hmm. It all came out of Jen.
I think we should do the top 5 Korean movies set in the Joseon era.
Oh, yeah, we were talking about this before the stream started. All of our Korean Netflix series and things. Oh, man.
They're all actually filmed in the same set, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you see the same buildings over and over again. I remember I was watching 2 different shows with a friend of mine that were set in that same era, and I said to her, you could probably intersperse different episodes from 2 different series together this way, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
I often wonder if an actor wandered off that part of the set and into another set in the next round the corner, if you forget which movie he was in, if it was join the other movie.
Well, I thought you said there was only one actor and they just shoot him from different camera angles.
That's right.
To get the different.
There's 4 actors. They just
4 actors. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, it would be a short list for most of you guys. Scribe might have a few. You can put in.
Sherlock Holmes.
I could probably make a top
2010.
3. Yeah, Sherlock Holmes 2010.
Sherlock Holmes with dinosaurs.
That probably should have been number 1 overall of all our lists.
Should have been the way Tom reacted to it. And like, wow, I'm glad I put it on the list.
All right. Well, with that, I want to remind everybody that Culture will be going live here in about 10 minutes. So head on over there. This will direct you over there. I'll pop in there because I sent him a birthday present, so I think he's going to show him off. Toxic Man Flu, what do you got going on? I'm sure you'll be heading over there too. Oh, here's Six popping in the back.
Hey,
Maybe-
Six. She's probably gonna tell us what we did wrong.
What do we do wrong?
You guys did
Everything.
What?
What? Is she gone?
I'm right here.
We didn't
Oh,
hear you.
sorry. Oh, there she is.
Can you hear me?
I'm
Yeah, we
literally right here.
No, it was a great show.
Well, thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
Even though
Okay,
you
now I'm
listen-
worried you're going to
Yeah.
come slip my throat in my sleep. What do we
Which
do?
show?
Feels like a trap.
Which show are you talking about?
That's not my style. No.
You would
I
call.
think chat enjoyed it.
this
There's
is
400 people who've been listening.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
that's
true.
true.
It was good. It was an interesting choice of lists to do. Stretched us a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even think about the
Just my ability to do
whole
the
thing,
list
and
correctly.
you're right. You did mention it 6, and I was just like, well, maybe I want to save that one. And I'm like, no, I'm thinking about it in hindsight. I'm like, no, that's what we should have done.
Well, does the time when is the time change going to stop? Have they decided that?
Oh, through
I
you
don't
mean
think so.
legislation?
I don't
They
know,
should.
but
Otherwise, we
didn't-
could do it in the spring.
what I didn't think about though was correlating with Back to the Future being November 5th, and the fact that that's what like I said at the beginning of the show, I was like, shit. If I'd have thought about that aspect of it.
Top 5 movies about the clocks going back is what you're saying.
No, well, just the fact November 5th being
Oh,
the day
you said
that.
clocks. Oh, I thought that was a totally
See,
different
and it's
set of
funny I
photos.
didn't think about it because Brahma, I think you pointed out, I think something about the whole November 5th thing, political thing, or
Yeah,
something
I
like
had
that.
suggested rebellion movies because
Yeah.
of
Mm.
V for
Guy
Vendetta.
Fawkes.
V for Vendetta.
And so I
yeah.
never put the two correlated the two in my stupid ass brain, and I should have been
That's
like,
why
no,
I
we're gonna
wrote,
do fucking
remember,
time
remember
travel
the
movies."
5th of November.
I know, and I'm like, shit, duh. And I've been saying this since last night. I should have fucking changed it, but oh well, it is what it is. It's too late now. We'll save it for another special time.
We got tons
Um,
of ideas.
We do.
Were you? I wasn't listening the last few minutes. Were you guys talking about what you're going to do next weekend?
Everybody's supposed to make a list of lists.
No, that was
so that we've
just a
got
joke.
plenty to
A
choose
list of
from
lists.
instead of scrambling every week.
I still think, given that it's Remembrance Day, that something to do with war movies might work.
We might do that this time, but yeah, from here we're gonna get. I like the
Or
idea of,
Second World War
of having a
movies.
few
Atonement
choices
count.
for the audience to choose. I like that idea. So
Audience should choose. Actually, that's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
So next time we'll figure it out, but then from here on out we'll have at least a few choices for you guys to pick. We'll pick our 4 favorites because the poll only lets you pick 4. We'll pick our 4 favorites at the end of this week, and we'll let you guys choose of those 4.
You could
What we do
do
next
like
time.
top 16 and do 4 polls. Do it,
Do
you
a
know,
battle.
bracket style.
You're getting
It's getting all fancy.
all
Getting more
fancy. Yeah.
complicated.
But is
than
this like a
Tom's
fancy-
work
Yeah,
list.
you're like
Is this like a fantasy league thing of lists?
this is getting sound
Yeah.
like sports ball.
I love lists.
She does.
Look who's in the fucking
That's what-
the group chat already coming up with lists.
That's what, the,
Teacher's pet.
that's what the,
Bet.
that's what the captain of the Titanic said that too. I love lists.
I've been putting that list up like this is the 3rd time I put that up there.
Yeah, he
You know,
has
hey,
put that list up a few times.
You know, the problem with communicating through
forgotten.
Twitter alone is that after like 4 or 5 chats, this other stuff is gone.
Yeah, you don't
Exactly.
think to scroll
You don't
back
get to see it.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's
after the
probably
first
good
time
when
an idea
me,
that I
Tom, and
have is
Six-
ignored, I just move on.
Probably good
Mrs.
that people
Flew just
don't
came in
scroll
here and
back and
dropped
watch
her
me, Tom, and
tablet.
6 argue.
should we open up a special channel on somebody's Discord or something to try to track this? Or
I
Well, Tom loves
We'll
Gilded.
lose Tom.
oh,
He'll
okay.
never make it down the hall.
So-
Okay, never
Fine.
mind.
I've just thought what it should be. Top 5
You already
movies,
lost me. What?
Top 5 movies where someone has meat thrown at them.
Oh, comics division, comics division, comics division. And comics
Wait. Define meat because there's a
Oh,
whole
Has
genre.
culture ever had meat
Someone
thrown at him or
gets
just a
slapped in the
shoe?
You mean
Just
someone
a few.
gets slapped in the face with meat?
Then
That could
it's
mean a
gotta
number
be
of
toxic.
things.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. Yeah.
The 5 moments that Mrs. Flew threw meat at Toxic Man Flew. That's the one.
Well, he probably slaps her with meat all the time. So
Hello. Well, it's
Oh,
payback.
no. Well,
Slap
no.
might be a bit much. I think slightly tickles.
Nudge.
Let's
Nudge.
not go there. That's
Nudge.
that's for their bedroom, not mine. My mind.
Well, in our living
Like,
room.
living
and
room.
our-
I don't want to. I don't
What?
want
Huh? What?
I ever visit. I don't want to think about sitting in your splooge spot. Okay.
Ugh.
Too late.
All I'm telling you, is I've got a camp cot outside. You'll be fine.
I'll bet you
Oh
have.
shit. Snowdub likes the Boondock Saints for a choice. There you go. Yeah, Snowdub
right.
will be on one of these lists soon. I'm saving you now, Snowdub. I want to do favorite either puppet related or Muppet movies, one of the two. So we got to talk about that soon, because we are going to have special
that's a good
guests from
idea.
time to time too. There was a guest who was supposed to join us. In fact, he just got back to me and he apologized because something came up, but I'm not even going to say who it was because I don't want to, whatever. But so we are planning on doing that. It was Culture Casino, and he came up, and the wife was like, "Hello." No. Just kidding. So yeah, we'll discuss them, because we do plan on having some special guest events as well. So with that, we already got Toxie. Brahma, are you going over to Cultures as well? And do you have anything else to plug?
Yep, I'm popping over there. The only show I've really got on my channel right now is Bourbon and Boarding on Saturday nights at 10 p.m.
Right.
Otherwise, you can catch me on all of Comics Division stuff.
Oh, I never said anything about all the stuff that was coming up.
Oh yeah, what do you got going on? You must not have.
That's
You
it.
took off on a tangent.
We did Monday Meltdown, right? That's the Comics Division stuff. Monday 9 p.m. Wednesday at 8 p.m. We're doing the Allen Park Hearts Rumble exclusive. Thursday will be the Throwdown at 9 p.m. I will not be on that show. I'll be out and about for that one there. And then you can catch comics on Friday night. Friday afternoon tights, I guess it's called now.
Comics streams almost as much as I do.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We went from just 2 a week to like 5,000.
Yeah, this is why I wish I could
stop.
make it more often, but like Six yells at me and Mikey yells at me, and they're like,
Why
"You gotta
doesn't
quit
comics
fucking
ever come on
streaming so
here?
much." Yeah, comics doesn't come on here. Culture never shows up no more.
I'll ask him.
I'm going to show up
I
to
know he's
Culture
been
just
working on
long
some
enough
other
to see
stuff.
his gifts, because I got a video to edit, evidently.
Comics
so.
has an open invitation.
Yeah, I just got to get him to it. I think he's
I
out
just
at the ranch
decided
this
that.
week. Most of the time, he's either going to do a member stream, or actually he's going to change those. But every other weekend, he's driving back from the ranch at this time.
The rabbit
He has
chicken.
to go
ranch?
out and take care of his bees
Not the bees.
Bees.
and kill the rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm told him he's going to have to come on one of these. So I'll make him. I have to go down there and
All right.
force him.
Brahma, did you get to finish?
No, I cut
That's
him
mostly
off.
Comics Division stuff, but yeah, me and 70s do the Saturday night
Alright.
show, so check that one out.
Sounds good. Speaking of 70s, what you got going on?
Yeah, I would second that. Check Brahma and I out Saturday night, 10 p.m. Mountain Time, Bourbon and Boarding. Books. No, Bourbon and Boarding. Bourbon and Boarding. Lots of great hockey talk, lots of great clips, and some quality booze. Fancy liquors. It's a great show. I'm not doing a show on my own channel tomorrow because I'm a lazy bastard. But I believe that I'm going to be on Latino Slant's channel in the afternoon to talk about the latest Beatles song, which I did do a impromptu
When is
live
that?
stream on. Tomorrow about 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. So Polly has a regular 1 p.m. I think it is 1 p.m. Mountain every Monday before my 3 p.m. show. I'm not doing my show tomorrow though, so I'm going to join Polly for a while, talk about the Beatles. And other than that, I'll probably be popping up on Comics Division, I would imagine, later on perhaps. And Tuesday night, 32 Flavors of Nick Visor. Toxic Tuesday is back after a week off, and we're doing a month of Roger Moore Bond movies.
Oh,
Starting Tuesday night, this Tuesday, we're actually doing them out of chronological order for various reasons. I won't go into now, but we're doing The Man with the Golden Gun first.
Feudal Kill was the best one.
Well, that's
Agreed.
join the shows every Tuesday night on Nick's channel, and you can talk about that. So,
Where were you talking about the Beatles song? I missed that.
Latino slang. Paulie,
Oh,
Latino
Why
slang.
hasn't Paulie asked me yet, the little fucker?
Well, I was talking to him separately, and your name did.
Yeah,
come up.
he asked me for everything else, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck that thing is.
Yeah.
The one time he's doing something I know, and he don't ask me to do something with it. Well, whatever. Okay,
Well,
it's on him.
I
If he's
kinda-
listening, it's on
well,
you, Paul.
He hadn't thought of doing it till I suggested it to him.
He ain't asked me yet.
Maybe he wanted the other people on the panel to be able to talk too.
That's right.
Ooh.
Oh,
Shots
Oh,
fired. Shots
It's
fired.
so sad
Oh!
that 6 had to go.
Shots fired.
Oh, she did leave. I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh.
Who's next?
Jesus. I was only kidding, 6. God. Anyway, Scribe, what you got going on?
Well, my regular shows right now, I got Thursday night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, TED Excellence, where I take a look at off-brand TED Talks and the like for entertainment and education, and bingo, also TEDx bingo. That's always fun. And then I have a regular show on Sunday mornings, just called The Sunday Stream, where I talk about a thing. I usually decide Saturday night, so it's usually something current events, political or otherwise, sometimes. But yep. And I got a whole library of other stuff on my channel of different things, including reviews of the Punisher movies and things for those of you, because there's somebody in the chat who was like, Netflix Punisher was pretty good. I'm like, no, it wasn't. But that's separate. And that's what I got. Oh, and this is now part of my regular weekly routine.
All right. Well, with that, I will head over to Cultures at least to see him doing his gifts and whatnot. I'm sorry, 6. I am nice
I apologize.
to
I apologize
you. Jeez.
for Tom.
Always apologize for me.
Yeah.
All right. Well, till next time, guys. Thanks for joining us on the shit list here. I'm Midnight's Edge After Dark.
Fade in.
I'm just gonna do something here.